Hi, my beloved ones. My name is Algimantas. I live in Lithuania, in the capital city, Vilnius. I speak about different spiritual things, and this time I would like to deal with the spiritual living experiences or with the spiritual path and why so few people desire to step on it, to embark upon this wonderful, full of reality, spiritual path, the living path. It's very easy to answer this question because nobody teaches little kids within their family or anywhere at school, first in a nursery school, later on in a primary school, and in a high school, and so on. So kids, while growing, they never are instructed that there is such a source and center of the living path, and that even the phenomenon of the living path is truly existing in reality. And what is this reality as a fact? So such information is not being instructed to human mind. Therefore, this knowledge is, in a way, obscure, and people don't even know which way to look, which way to think, what is the vector of thinking and consciousness. On the other hand, once you are devoting your life to certain material pursuits, quite often you receive a quick response. Well, even while in the process of some material work, you might see just a short outcome of your material work, a certain result. And while looking at this result, you might enjoy it. And this gives you a certain satisfaction that, well, the process is long, say, the repair of an apartment. But what has been done today, well, causes me inner satisfaction, inner pleasure. So that's why, in this case, we feel and see with our own material eyes the result. And equally so, when we talk about material activity in our work, or even while creating some art pieces like music or songs, lyrics, or painting pictures, we have a certain amount of our work which is being as an energy form poured out into text on a canvas or in some musical notes. So all this gives us a certain ability to see what we have done. We might not be satisfied with what we have already done today or during the last couple of weeks or even months. But all the same, we have a chance to watch what we have done. It's a bit upsetting when you work in radio, in a radio station. So You cannot hear your program while you are in the studio, in the very process of broadcasting. You cannot listen to your own program. Of course, you might record it, but you cannot see before your eyes. So in this case, it's much better when you have a printed text, like an article in a newspaper or even on a website, so you can enjoy reading it minute at a time, what appeals to your heart. But in a living path of spirit, on a spiritual path, you do not see such outcome, such an outcome. You cannot see these results with your visual eyes. It's impossible, because you need to train your spiritual personality, which is invisible. We have only a visible material form, which is called a human body. But our spiritual personality is what is this living sparkle controlling this body. And this real sparkle is spiritual and controlled, or rather attracted to its source, to its father and mother, to Creator himself. So therefore, we control our spiritual personality through the vibrations of energy manifestation, which are being poured ceaselessly from Creator. And once we open up to Creator, we begin to sense, to feel these vibrations within. We cannot register them with our eyesight. We cannot show these vibrations to our beloved ones, to our neighbors. We are incapable of doing it, because energy is experienced through sensations in our consciousness, on our conscious level. Therefore, it's not a printed matter. It is not even a song which we might perform. And if you are in high spirits, you can enjoy it while listening to this song. Or if you are in low spirits, you might raise your own inner self, that spiritual personality might raise its vibrations to a higher frequency, and then restore just recently lost some manifestation of energy and high vibrations. So this sound of music is producing the effect which might also be called spiritual effect, because our sensations begin to change into higher spirits. But we cannot express it on a printed matter. The sensation is within our own personality. We cannot very often even to explain what we are experiencing within, because we are missing a lot of terms and nice words to express so broad palette of different sensations within. We lack material words. So the more so, it's even more difficult for those who listen to our explanation and trying to understand what this is about. So that's why those who hear our stories on our sensations on the living spiritual path, quite often they completely misunderstand our emotions. And they might consider us as, in a way, insane persons. Because what are we telling them? They have no any object, any sensation, any experience to compare with, so that they would have a certain sort of conscious understanding, a certain concept, a true concept of what we are trying to explain to them. So that's why people are, in general, in an absolute majority, are controlled by the animal mind. The animal mind means the mind which has its origin in the material sphere, on the level of an animal, because humans have developed through the process of evolution from lemur, a small creature, material animal, and now the only land that has lemurs as their habitat is the huge island of Madagascar. And in this case, our material mind, this animal mind, desires quick, fast results. Whatever we might be doing, we are already thinking, what will be when this work is completed? What it shall look like if, for instance, we are in the process of a house repair. How it shall be attractive to, well, enjoy ourselves on the sofa, in the lounge, and have a nice lunch or a cup of tea or whatever that brings us to a certain pleasant experience. While in a spiritual field, on the living path, we cannot even imagine as to what we might arrive at in the future once we take efforts, spiritual efforts. And our efforts give us a certain satisfaction within. We cannot demonstrate to others any inner sensation. It is being experienced by us within. It is extremely and exceptionally personal experience. When we discover Creator as a personality within, so the spiritual path becomes more or less understood and understandable by and to our brethren who have also discovered Creator within and who have their own spiritual sensations. So they begin to understand our explanations, even though their experiences are completely unique and personal. Nevertheless, throughout the relationship with Creator, with the source and center of all energy, we might come to a certain common understanding. So for us, the result, the outcome, or the complete target already reached is of not such a high importance, which is of utmost importance is our relationship with Creator, our living faith and what we receive from Creator, especially when we begin to receive sensations of love. These are top frequency energy vibrations pouring out of Creator down upon us. So this love is such a powerful sensation. You cannot describe it and you cannot provoke it, as it is only pouring down into our personality from the personality, source, and center, from Creator Himself, who is also the source and center of all top frequency vibrations of love. So that's why it takes a long and persistent and sincere efforts just to arrive at this moment when you begin to feel this love in reality, love within your personality. But you cannot demonstrate what it means. You can only show to your brethren how you live being enveloped in real Creator's love. Love for your neighbor, love for the nature, love for the animal life. So your behavior, your actions demonstrate that you are different from the one you have been before experiencing Creator's love within. That's why your living and true actions being filled up with Creator's love in everyday ambience is the only evidence that you are different, absolutely different than the environment, than your brethren who have not discovered Creator within and who have been pursuing their material aims, and they devote all their time and spend all their energy on these pursuits. And at the end of their living on this planet, they arrive at the conclusion, well, I have lived my life in vain. I haven't made anything good to others. I haven't discovered the meaning of living on this planet. But once you discover Creator within, you begin to feel the meaning of your living, just sharing your love you are experiencing within, with your neighbor, with the whole of humanity, with the whole of the family of creation. By doing good deeds under the auspices of Creator Himself and the way He's leading us from within. And it is valid for our everyday living from morning till night, from night till the morning. Therefore, these results show only a different quality of our living. So our thoughts are different. We begin to talk about Creator's love we are sensing, and we perform our everyday chores filled up with Creator's love. And these chores turn into holy deeds for the benefit of all, even though we might be engaged in laundering, bed sheets manually, laundering manually, not in a washing machine. Because by washing anything manually, we are passing Creator's love vibrations through our hands, not through the washing machine mechanism, material mechanism, but through our living cells, through our brain that controls our hands, through the operation of the central nervous system. So that's why Creator's love is pouring through us into the laundry, into the laundering pieces. That's absolutely a new quality of our approach to this very same work that quite recently used to be completely unattractive and even tedious, that we even were thinking how to escape from it, how to avoid it. Well, now you are doing it with pleasure and in a pleasant state of consciousness, in a blissful sensation within. And that's thanks to Creator's presence within. Creator has bestowed his fragment, which is called the thought adjuster, and which is inhabiting our mind, just the whole process of our thinking, just to direct us. Creator direction, so that we would direct all our thoughts to the Creator himself within. That's our new quality of living. And we begin every morning with our thoughts about Creator. And we devote our day, the coming new day, to Creator. And even we begin to worship Creator in love every morning. So this is a new quality in our hearts, and this should be voiced out to others, so that others, our brethren, would know about this new life quality, our living new quality. Without speaking out all these things, all these issues, we will never be able to raise our energy vibrations to a higher frequency. And how should others get any idea about the existence of Creator himself within each of our brethren, and that it is possible to discover him within, just to change our quality of living, and to live in love and to focus our attention on the process of living rather than on a certain aim we have to achieve, so that we would be able to realize that we have something to show to others, this achievement, this result. No, it is not necessary for us embarked on a living spiritual path. We are feeling these inner sensations and all the transformations within our personality identity. And these transformations are always directed like a one-way traffic street towards Creator. And we begin to feel the difference as we reminiscence some episodes from our past, our reactions to certain developments in the past, and what we are experiencing now. So our reactions are completely different, and they are always enveloped in our love, which is in reality the love of Creator being poured down upon us. And we are like semiconductors through which Creator is channeling His love energy to the whole of creation. So that's why there are so few who desire to embrace this living path, because while looking at life through the material different deeds, they do desire to see the ultimate result and to see it as soon as possible. But this is not the way all is transpiring on the living path of spirit. We are enjoying the process. We are enjoying our communion with the Father and Mother of the whole creation family, our Creator. And this communion fills up our personality with love vibrations of Creator's vibrations. They are true Creator's vibrations being passed by and through His fragment, thought adjuster, indwelling our mind. So once we discover Creator Himself within, we enjoy absolutely new quality of living in our everyday living conditions. They turn into a feast, into holy living conditions. And that's marvelous. Evolution is marvelous, filled up with Creator's love and light. And I leave you in my embrace, filled with Creator's love and light.